Love stories in the K-drama world have always drawn curiosity, excitement, and endless discussions among fans, but few romances have sparked as much fascination and quiet wonder as the public unfolding of Chae-min and Ryu Da-in's relationship. What makes their story so captivating is not a dramatic scandal, nor a long-drawn controversy, but rather the gentle, delicate way their romance appeared, almost like a scene from a youth drama that gracefully transitioned into reality. Fans didn't see it coming, and yet, once it was revealed, many couldn't help but feel like they had been unknowingly rooting for them all along. Chae-min, known for his rising presence in hit dramas like Crash Course in Romance and The Heart-Fluttering A Good Day to Be a Dog, had already become a beloved figure among younger fans for his boyish charm and grounded personality. Meanwhile, Ryu Da-in, admired for her roles in dramas like The Witch's Game and her subtle but memorable screen presence, had been quietly building her own identity as a talented actress. Individually, both were recognized as promising faces of the next generation of Korean entertainment. Together, however, they became something unexpected, a couple that felt authentic, real, and refreshingly unscripted. The romance didn't explode onto the headlines out of nowhere. Instead, their love surfaced gently, first as whispers, then as quiet speculation, and eventually as confirmed reality. When their agencies acknowledged their relationship, fans were initially stunned, but not in a way filled with outrage or disbelief. Instead, many reactions were a mix of surprise, warmth, and unexpected approval. The world had seen so many celebrity relationships get caught up in rumors, denial, and damage control, but here were Chae-min and Ryu Da-in, stepping into the public eye with calm acceptance, neither overly dramatic nor emotionally distant. It felt like two people simply choosing each other without trying too hard to prove anything. Their story isn't defined by where they met or how many years they were together before going public. What makes it so engaging is the subtle emotional thread that fans began piecing together once the truth was known. Fans started revisiting past interviews, red carpet looks, show appearances, and behind-the-scenes clips with new eyes. Some noticed how Chae-min often spoke warmly about mutual respect in relationships, emphasizing that he admired people who were genuine and kind at heart. Others recalled that Ryu Da-in, in her interviews, often emphasized emotional honesty and quiet support as her ideal form of love. The puzzle pieces didn't scream romance at first. Instead, they whispered it. There were sightings, not paparazzi-driven scandals, but quiet mentions from industry insiders who saw them speaking softly to each other at award shows or sharing small moments with a natural comfort that didn't look forced. Fans later recalled a certain event where both were present, and Chae-min seemed unusually attentive when Da-in walked by, though back then, few thought much of it. It wasn't a grand gesture that sparked suspicion, it was a quiet familiarity that, once noticed, became impossible to unsee. When their relationship became public, the internet didn't erupt in chaos, it exhaled in curiosity and warmth. Social media platforms, especially fan forums and comments under news articles, were filled with a surprisingly positive energy. "They suit each other so well," one fan wrote. "They both give off such calm and comforting vibes." Others joked, "This is like watching a youth drama but in real life, soft, respectful, and healing." For many, their romance wasn't shocking because it was dramatic, it was shocking because it just made sense. But behind the public reaction lies a deeper reality. Navigating a romance in the spotlight is never easy, especially for rising actors still securing their positions in the industry. Going public meant risking image changes, fan reactions, and industry scrutiny. Yet, what made this relationship feel different was its understated nature. There was no attempt to weaponize their love for publicity, but neither did they try to erase it from existence. There was a quiet maturity in the way they allowed the relationship to breathe naturally in the public eye. Fans noticed that after the reveal, neither drastically altered their public behavior. There were no excessive public displays, but also no awkward attempts to completely avoid each other's names in conversations. Their relationship was acknowledged but not dramatized. That balance gave fans a sense of respect, not only for each other but for the careers they were both passionately building. Career-wise, both actors continued to move steadily. Chae-min remained on a consistent rise. His performances became more emotionally nuanced, and some fans began to wonder if personal happiness had deepened his emotional reservoir as an actor. Ryu Da-in, too, continued pursuing meaningful roles, seemingly unaffected by the public nature of her love life. This lack of disruptive impact reassured fans that their romance wasn't going to overshadow their ambitions. However, even in a largely positive reception, there exists an emotional layer that fans can't help but speculate about. What is it about their connection that keeps it strong? Some believe it's their shared values, a mutual understanding of what it means to rise slowly in a competitive industry without losing one's sense of humility. Others think their calm personalities reflect a relationship built on quiet strength rather than fiery intensity. To fans, their love feels like two people choosing peace in each other after navigating an industry filled with noise and pressure. Of course, the public nature of their romance means they're not immune to scrutiny. There were concerns shared by some fans about how young actors often face pressure once their relationships are revealed, especially when they are still in the early stages of their fame. But the way both Chae-min and Da-in carried themselves helped ease those concerns. They didn't suddenly become overly secretive or break from their usual demeanor. They didn't use their romance as a publicity tool, nor did they shy away from its existence. That natural stance helped solidify public trust in their sincerity. There's something touching about the way their love story didn't rely on exaggerated drama. It's the kind of romance that feels grounded in everyday understanding, a story that fans can watch calmly, rooting for them, rather than anxiously waiting for a scandal. And in the world of Korean entertainment, where love stories can often be overshadowed by controversy, their relationship feels refreshingly normal yet emotionally resonant. As months passed, fans continued to support both actors individually and as a couple. Some fan edit compilations on social media started circulating, using subtle interactions or imagined scenarios based on their real-life personalities. Rather than being speculative in a harmful way, these fan creations were celebratory, expressing hopes for their happiness. Online discussions often featured comments like, "I hope they support each other through their careers," or "Love like this feels mature and emotionally stable." Yet, as time passes, what makes their romance so quietly gripping is not the present alone, but the path that may lie ahead. Fans find themselves wondering, how will this love evolve as both actors continue to rise? Will they be able to protect their bond amid busy filming schedules, public expectations, and the emotional toll of fame? Watching them now feels like witnessing the early chapters of a story still unfolding, where each new success, each award show, each drama release may reveal subtle glimpses of how their affection endures behind the scenes. In an era where celebrity relationships are often pressured into becoming content rather than connection, Chae-min and Ryu Da-in have earned praise for keeping their romance grounded and free from theatrics. This delicate balance gives fans a comforting reassurance. It feels like a relationship rooted not in convenience, but in mutual understanding. As careers progress, some couples drift apart under industry strain, while others grow stronger from shared struggles. Watching their journey, fans seem to quietly hope theirs is the latter. There's also an emotional resonance in seeing young actors experience love while building their dreams. For many fans, they are not just a couple. They are two individuals taking on the world, facing uncertain futures where scripts change, opportunities come and go, and fame can fluctuate. Their relationship, therefore, becomes not just romance, but a symbol of emotional support, stability, and companionship in a world full of unpredictability. Some speculate that one day they might appear in the same drama, creating a ripple of excitement that would undoubtedly capture national and international interest. Others dream of a future where, years from now, they might reflect on their early days of love during an interview, sharing how they helped each other grow. Whether or not those dreams ever come true, what matters now is that many fans are quietly cheering for them, not only as actors but as individuals navigating love with grace. As the Korean entertainment world evolves rapidly with new stars rising every year, there is something comforting about a romance that doesn't feel performative. In that sense, Chae-min and Da-in's love story may not be the loudest, but it may be one of the most enduring in the hearts of fans. People admire how they have handled everything, not with excessive secrecy nor unnecessary openness, but with a healthy, steady acceptance that feels emotionally mature. The real magic of their story lies in its relatability. It's not a whirlwind scandal-driven romance. It's a realistic portrayal of two young people who found connection at a time in their lives when emotions are deep, dreams are real, and futures are still being shaped. This is why their relationship resonates, because it feels possible, human, unexaggerated, and full of meaning without fully being revealed. The public impact of their romance has also opened a softer conversation in the industry about allowing young stars to enjoy love without being punished for it. Instead of backlash, their announcement inspired optimism and warmth. It became a quiet example that fans can support both the careers and the happiness of their idols without forcing them to choose one over the other. If their story were to be silently written over time, fans imagine chapters filled with shared laughs after long filming days, encouraging words before taking on emotionally heavy roles, and comforting presence during challenging industry moments. In these imagined yet emotionally believable moments, the beauty of their connection lies not in dramatic grand gestures but in emotional support, shared ambition, and mutual respect. No one knows where this love will lead. It may remain a private journey they carry forward for years, or it may one day transition into something deeper that they choose to share publicly. Whether it becomes an iconic long-term relationship or simply a meaningful chapter in their lives that helped shape who they become, it has already left a gentle but lasting imprint on the hearts of many who admire them. For now, fans are content watching their growth, individually and together, without rushing their story. In an industry filled with carefully edited scripts and constructed endings, Chae-min and Ryu Da-in offer a love that feels unfinished in a beautiful way, like a drama that has only just begun, with endless possibilities still waiting to unfold. Their untold story remains open-ended, not because it's incomplete, but because it is still living, breathing, and evolving quietly outside of the public spotlight. And perhaps, that is the most heartfelt kind of story there is, one that is real, ongoing, and full of quiet promise. But even as fans savor the calm beauty of this unfolding love, there lingers a quiet, collective curiosity. What does love look like behind the closed curtains of their personal lives? When the bright set lights are turned off and scripts are set aside, what kind of conversations might they share after a long day? Do they talk about their dreams, their fears, the roles they hope to play, or the kind of legacy they wish to leave behind in the Korean entertainment world? The thought alone creates a gentle emotional connection with fans, who can't help but imagine a version of them seated side by side after work, comforting each other in silence or sharing simple laughter that only two people who truly understand each other can share. There is something deeply beautiful about watching a romance that grows in a field as unpredictable as the entertainment industry. Both Chae-min and Ryu Da-in are in their growth eras, climbing higher, evolving steadily, recognized more each day. The early days of fame are often described as both thrilling and emotionally draining, filled with praise but also pressure, achievements but also anxiety. Having someone who silently believes in you through all that can be a blessing beyond words. Maybe Da-in sees in Chae-min not just a rising star but someone with a heart she trusts. Maybe Chae-min finds in Da-in not just admiration, but grounding, a quiet reminder of who he is outside the spotlight. As their careers continue to expand, some fans speculate about how they might continue supporting each other from behind the scenes. It's easy to imagine moments like sending messages before big auditions or leaving encouraging words before a new drama's premiere. Fans create emotional scenarios in their minds, like Chae-min watching Da-in's drama quietly from the sidelines, proud of every scene, or Da-in sending him a cheerful message when he wins a rookie award, her joy perhaps matching his. Even without visual confirmation, this kind of emotional storytelling takes root in the collective hearts of those who believe in their bond. In a world where many celebrity romances are defined by sudden exposure or controversy, their path has been careful but not hidden, acknowledged but not exaggerated. This subtle honesty has made fans feel like they are witnessing something more authentic than most idolized love stories. The sincerity of their quiet relationship seems to resonate with a generation of drama watchers who crave emotional truth over dramatic spectacle. Younger fans in particular, who are growing up in an era shaped by authenticity and emotional transparency, see something aspirational in a relationship built not on impulsiveness but on mutual care and support. As the seasons of their lives change, imaginations wander to what might come next. Will there be a moment years from now where they look back at this chapter and smile softly at how love blossomed during their rise to fame? Could they become one of those rare K-entertainment couples who celebrate not only emotional endurance but also personal growth side by side? Or will their love serve as a meaningful stepping stone that helped shape them into the stronger, more mature individuals they will eventually become? Whatever the outcome, this moment, right now, feels significant in its authenticity. And fans? They're not demanding answers. They're not rushing the timeline or forcing predictions. Instead, they are content watching the quiet beauty of something real. In every supportive comment online, in every fan edit set to soft background music, in every whispered, "They're so cute together," there is a sense of communal warmth, a group of people who may not know the full story, but believe in its sincerity anyway. Their story also opens up conversations about the emotional cost of being in love under public scrutiny. How do they protect moments meant only for them? How do they remain close when filming schedules keep them apart? How does love withstand rumors, expectations, and constant eyes watching everything from outfit choices to facial expressions at events. These questions are not rooted in doubt, but in empathy. Fans don't just want them to last, they want them to feel safe, happy, and emotionally fulfilled no matter what comes next. Perhaps the most heartwarming thought is that their love, whether long-lasting or season-specific, is currently existing in a way many young couples dream of, a partnership where respect, quiet admiration, and shared ambition play leading roles. Love in its purest form doesn't always demand grandeur. Sometimes it thrives most beautifully in silent encouragement and unspoken understanding. For many supporters, following their journey feels like watching a drama that doesn't rely on cliffhangers or exaggerated plot twists, but instead grows with time, comfort, and sincerity. It is not a story rushed to a conclusion. It is a narrative written day by day, with every shared smile, every supportive glance, and every small act of care. And perhaps that's what truly captivates the audience, this feeling that we are not witnessing the climax of their love story, but the early chapters of something meaningful that will continue to evolve privately, even when not constantly in the headlines. One day, they may choose to share milestones with the world. Or they may keep their love mostly hidden, giving only occasional glimpses that reassure fans that they are still cheering each other on. Whether their story is destined to last forever or simply exist as a cherished memory, it already represents something emotionally significant to the fans who have followed it with gentle admiration. Until then, the audience watches their journey with quiet support, ready to celebrate every success, every new role, and every emotional triumph in their careers, with a soft, lingering hope that somewhere behind the cameras, they are still each other's comfort. And if love is a kind of narrative that grows quietly in the spaces between public appearances and private dreams, then Chae-min and Ryu Da-in are writing theirs in a language not of spectacle, but of sincerity, and for many fans, that is the most beautiful kind of story there is. If this love story made your heart flutter or left you wondering what the next chapter might hold, then you're exactly where you belong. At midnight in Seoul, we don't just talk about celebrity romances. We feel them, relive them, and celebrate them together as one passionate K-drama family. Join us as we dive deeper into stories like this, uncover emotional journeys behind the spotlight, and share the warmth of real-life love in the world of K-entertainment. So grab your virtual seat, hit subscribe, and let's keep watching love, dreams, and destiny unfold together, right here at midnight in Seoul.